Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us for another edition of Royal Lepage Binder. This is the live stream connecting you to all the topics to do with real estate here in Windsor and Essex County. Glad to have you along for this chilly Friday afternoon. My name is Arms Bumanlag, the host of Royal Lepage Binder Live, and this is Ask the Experts, where we work with and talk with some of our preferred suppliers that make a difference in your buying, in your selling, and anything to do with your home in Windsor-Essex. And our guest today is, well, I can tell you my wife is huge. I'm a huge fan. Back in 2017, he launched Windsor's leading staging and interior design company. So whether you're selling, buying, the team can help you transform your space, really make it feel like a home. So they combine years of styling experience, trained eye, creative innovation to provide a memorable look to any space. Really excited, really pumped up to welcome somebody who's been so involved in the community, David Burman, who is from Mr. Style, who is the president. David, always good to see you, man. How are you?
Happy Friday. Happy Black Friday for those going crazy online and shopping.
That's right. That's right. And then hopefully buying things that make sense for their home, right? You got to style the home, make things look good. This is huge, right, David? The impact of staging a home really does, in your experience, sir, it does affect the selling price, right?
You know what? It's especially more recently, the past 2 years in the industry, specifically within the market in Windsor, it's changed dramatically. I did start slowly staging in 2015, and we formally launched Mr. Style in 2017 because of the demand that I saw. But the past 2 years, we've all seen it. 90% of my family and friends in the past 2 years have sold their house, have built. The market has changed. We're seeing a lot of change, a lot of growth. People who bought their first house in 2012, 2014 were close to doubling it within the past 2 years. So staging is now a key component of the Windsor market.
Would you say, David, in your experience, does staging allow for, somebody who may not have a particular type of style, but really giving people, I'm going to go ahead and say it, a sort of designer magazine quality to the house to kind of take them and say, wow, I may have not figured out that this is something I could do with the space?
100%. So when we go to market, when we go to sell our services, we clearly just discern to our clients, look, we're not designing for you, unless you are a design client, but we really decipher that in order to market your house properly, you have to market to the demographic. The demographic is now a more knowledgeable clientele. Thanks to social media, they're on Instagram, they're on Twitter, they're on TikTok. They're seeing more of what's going on in the design world, and that's what everyone wants. You'll see that. Windsor, for example, the building growth is grown astronomical. People are building homes here, there. We're running out of land. You can't make more land. So the biggest thing for a lot of, especially older homes, is turning them into something that looks turnkey, that looks, Showtime ready, that looks like that HGTV, that Architectural Digest, that overall, the look that, you want to show off, that you want to enjoy. It's that perfect lifestyle that, we all want.
And I think it's so important. And Susan, thanks for watching the stream, saying hi from Tilbury. We can't stress enough, like my wife Carrie will sit and watch the HGTV stuff religiously, and she'll be on there and she'll be like, oh, that's a great idea. They did this, they did that, they did this. But when you can really see what's being possible for your home, that not only hopefully inspire somebody who's looking to buy your home, but it may even inspire somebody to say, wait, maybe I never really thought of that. And it's maybe opening up space with the colors and the style, or making a better sense of flow in a home.
One thing we really focus on is those awkward spaces, those awkward areas. We love a good challenge. One area where we focus on specifically is we go into a lot of homes that, maybe someone's lived there for 30 years and they've acquired a lot of, goods and family, heirlooms. And then obviously it's too personal that someone who's looking at the house, they can't visualize their family in there. So one of our strengths is to go in and, number one, we depersonalize it, but then we really, we find those key areas that draw someone to the home. So For example, Old Walkerville, sometimes you're limited to space. We really just focus on the character of the homes and drive up those key things that are the most important part of the home. So yeah, so focusing on, the specifics of the home, something that may be super personalized, we'll, go back and scale it or try to modernize it. But there's a variety of, tactics and tools that we utilize to ensure that we can get the full potential of the home.
And I know Mr. Style is a preferred supplier of Royal Lepage Binder Real Estate. Beth, who is one of our awesome sales agents, she says, David is so talented. I have to sometimes sit down when I walk into a home that I listed after he stages it. It's that dramatic, I guess, push, right, David? It's kind of like, holy cow, this is something I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, Beth's been a huge supporter of us for many years, and she's always pushing staging. Royal Lepage specifically, there's a lot of really strong leaders in their brokerage that have really pushed staging, not just the past 2 years. I mean, I've been staging with Beth for close to 5 years. And the thing is any investment you put in, whether you're investing it as the realtor, whether Beth's investing it for clients or the realtors investing it, they'll get it back in a tenfold. So that's the biggest thing is it's a trust factor. People, it's not, a $300 service. Generally it starts at $2,000 and can go upwards depending on the size and the scale. But truly anything you put in when it comes to staging, you'll get it out. So whether it's the agent, funding the initial fee, or if it's, the homeowner, whoever decides, you're going to get your return on investment. We average about a 70% increase in pricing. Perfect example, last week I had a house that was listed for 6 months. They couldn't sell it, took it off the market. 2 weeks later, we staged it, sold $200,000 over asking.
Holy cow.
It's crazy.
That's very interesting. And I mean, that's a big jump too. And some of the team from Always Working For You, commenting here on the feed too. She says, both the twins say David and his team are the best in the biz. Couldn't recommend a better company.
The twins, I wish I was their triplet. So we have some exciting stuff. The twins and I were working on a fun little holiday. I guess you'll have to tune in and see. Maybe we'll have to air it on your show. But yeah, I've had the honor of working with the twins on many projects. They're innovators in industry. The twins have sold my general manager a house, close friends. They're fantastic. But again, realtors that invest in staging are investing in their clients. So realtors who believe in staging, they believe in, they believe in their clients. They believe in the home that they're selling. There's never truly been a better investment than staging. Obviously, cleanliness comes hand in hand with the staging. And so we support that as well with my company, Mr. Made. But truly, your return on investment it's strong when it comes to staging.
David, over the years you've been doing this and the realtors you've worked with, have you ever had like somebody come back? And my wife has said this about your stuff. She follows you on Instagram and she's always commenting about the style and the taste that you have. She loves you guys too. Like I told her, I'm like, she's working at the pharmacy today and I'm like, I got David on. She goes, oh my God, I have to watch it on my break. She's so excited to talk to you and to hear about some of the stuff. But I wanted to know, honestly, like if you've did such an awesome job with somebody's home, staging it, has like a buyer come in at any point and said like, hey, could you like, what does it take to leave this stuff here? Like,
literally just before this, we just staged a stunning loft at the Club Lofts. I had the pleasure of living at the Club Lofts a few years ago in Walkerville, and it's personally, I'd say it's the #1 building lofts in Windsor-Essex. And so a loft that sold in less than 7 days at a quite high price, they want to purchase almost the entire thing. So we're really excited. We definitely do offer that. We, as a design segment of our business, we do source, from a million suppliers, which is one of the benefits that work with us rather than some of the other. I mean, there's a lot of great staging companies that have come into the works the past couple of years because they've seen the demand. The first 5 years of our business, we were one of the only ones. And now in the past couple of years, I've seen so many different ones. And it's really exciting because it allows for different styles. We can do every style, I just have to say. But what I like is that we can support them from, if they buy the house, they want it furnished, we can sell them, what's in there, or we can customize it to anything that they want. So if they're like, look, I love those tufted sofas, but they're white and I have kids, we can get them in black. We can really, we're a full service provider. So if someone buys the house and they're like, look, I like this, but I don't like that, we can say, okay, well, what do you like? And we go from there. So it's nice because we really carry on the journey. A lot of our clients, design clients, come from that initial staging clientele. So we start with them, we stage their house, and they're like, okay, I'm moving into my new house. I can't do it without you. I wish I would have called you 10 years ago when I bought the house, and I could have lived like this the whole time. And that's where we say, we call it style to stay. Everyone deserves to have a house that they're inspired, they feel passionate about, they're proud of. And I firmly believe, and I stand by this, you don't have to sell your third arm. You don't have to sell your kidney or, cancel your, college fund to redo your dining room or your living room or make your home comfortable. So we do have a lot of repeat clients where we're staging for them and then we're designing for them. But yeah, like I said, it happens 1 in 5. I'd say, hey, can we buy this or can we buy that? So yeah.
It leads me to my next question. Tell me about the collection. People may not be familiar with this, that they're new with your work. This is something that's, I would say, relatively new, but it's something that you kind of dove into that direction, I would assume, based on that.
A lot of people ask me, where do you store all your furniture? So 2 years ago, we purchased the former Parkview bowling lanes on Ottawa Street, and we completely transformed this building into a full service. There's really not a lot of words for it. We, when Home Outfitters closed in Windsor, we bought all of their shelving, and we have outfitted about 12,000 square feet to properly store and I guess you could say stage our warehouse. So we have a full service studio at 1055 Ottawa Street where we plan our stages, organize, clean, maintain, structure them, plan them, the whole 9 yards. And we've really outgrown our space already. Next door, we had the opportunity to lease it from our close neighbor. And so we saw the opportunity. Part of it was we were having people message us, where can I get this? Where can I get this? I want this, I want that. A lot of people can find the furniture, but they can't get to the styling component. They're like, I can pick out my sofa, I can pick out my coffee table, but I need the styling component. So we opened a small styling boutique next door, 1041 Ottawa Street. It's open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 12 to 6. We have small goods, charcuterie boards, lots of great small coffee table books, pillows, a lot of little accents that you can just really make your house a home. For example, a lot of the realtors, mostly Royal Lepage, they'll call us, say, hey, I got a closing coming. Can you make me a kitchen bowl or a kitchen gift set? So we have the tools, we have the products where we can make them a gift basket, but it allows them to really just kind of turn their Mr. Style vibe on in their house. And we are possibly considering expanding into our headquarters.
Wow.
We've had a lot of requests for furniture, and for people are knocking on our door, 3 to 5 times a day trying to get in to, buy furniture. So, opportunity arises. I'm tempted just to open the doors and start selling everything.
Well, that's a testament to, I think, the want, the need, and certainly your skill, David. I think that judging by the comments that continue to roll in here on the live stream, Mark says David has an eye for everything, and every check mark is marked off when they walk
Thank
in.
you, Mark. That's amazing. I think COVID really changed the dynamic for a lot of people, especially in Windsor-Essex. Ontario, especially Windsor, we really, took it hard. We were really strict when it came to COVID. So people were dialing down. They were spending time in their homes. They were really, truly, surrounding themselves by their home. They were stuck in their house. So people were, started to take a passion for the interiors. And that's where you'll see a lot of people, I personally feel that's why a lot of people started listing their house. They were like, what, we need more space. If I'm going to work from home, if I'm homeschooling my kids, whether they decided to sell or whether they decided to renovate and revamp, COVID I personally, in my opinion, that was a positive part of COVID was people started to really value their homes and their homesteads and the quality of life that they have. I personally believe that a beautiful home, a tranquil home, a warm home, it sets the standard. I know when I wake up and I'm in my beautiful home that I've taken years to curate, I'm inspired. It's hard when you have a stunning home and it's comfortable and your family loves it, your kids love it. It's hard to wake up and leave without a good foot forward, right? So I think that's a big thing. COVID benefited us in that way.
Yeah, I 1,000%, my friend. I work primarily from home, through the different, irons I have in the fire too. And you're right. It's about comfort, what you feel comfortable in, and you feel comfortable setting foot in your office and feeling at home too. So, finally here, David, and honestly, a blessing to talk to you. Again,
Thank
our
you.
family is a big fan of what you guys do. Uh, I mean, you've talked about it, but I mean, working with Roy Lepage and our agents, and I know some of the team from AW for You, and Beth Rosowski as well. And what's it like working with Roy Lepage and our different brokerages right across the area?
The one thing I have to say about Royal LePage is that they have the closest camaraderie out of any other brokerage. There is a few other brokerages that we work with closely, LC, Deerbrook, but Royal LePage specifically, they support each other. So I know AW for You and Joe Conlon, their teams are really intermingled and they get along with each other. Beth, Trav Sartori, there's a lot of really great Royal LePage realtors. They support each other and they drive each other to each other's listings. So the one thing I've noticed the past couple of years, when I first started staging, some of the older, I don't want to say older, but some of the more seasoned realtors, there wasn't so much of a camaraderie as there is now. I think social media has really allowed a lot of agents to support each other. And even with staging, there's so many new staging companies coming on board. We're all busy, and I think it's important. And it's hard. It's a challenge. We're all competing for business. We're all trying to put food on the table for our families and our employees. But I think it's important that we truly support each other, because competition. There should be no such thing as competition. There's fellows in the industry, they're your comrades in the industry. And I think that's the biggest thing that Royal LePage displays. They really truly foster a close relationship with their agents. I know, and again, I go way back with Beth Rosowski and Paul, and I know Paul and Beth and, so many of the other ones at Royal LePage, they support each other and they push each other. Like, one thing I love is seeing a Royal LePage agent buy from that other Royal LePage agent. I think it's huge. I think it's so important that we work together to cheer each other up and just support each other's business. We're all getting listings. We all have a different taste. I'm a little bit crazy sometimes, and there's some softer. There's some other companies that are a little bit softer and a little bit easier to absorb. I like color, but I also like a traditional, serene, look as well. And so I think it's important that we all support each other. And I think that's something Royal Page really has strength in, is supporting the agents, supporting each other agents. And I think moving forward in the new year, I think it's something great that everyone should look at, is supporting your industry. As an industry whole, the more we support each other, the stronger our industry is.
If you want to come back on the program, we'd love to have you, especially in the new year. And I am looking forward to stopping by the shop with
Please
Carrie.
do.
I just may just be like, okay, David, take her. There you go.
Let's go. Carrie's been a huge supporter of my businesses for many years. So we'll definitely hook you up, get you a free candle when you come in. But please, in the future, we'd love to have you here in the showroom. We could live on demand, bring some of the agents in, and we go from there.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Thank you for making some time with us today. We appreciate it, David. Okay, take care.
Stay warm. It's cold out there.
You too, sir. Thank you so much. David Burman, what a great guy, president of Mr. Style and Mr. Mate. They got a great location on Ottawa Street. Actually, it was surprising to me. I know I said we follow David on social media too, to see the growth of his company and the great location on Ottawa Street too. We were down there in the summertime for the Windsor Food Halls, my son and my wife and I, and you can't miss it. It's a prime location too. So we do a lot of work with David again through Royal Lepage Binder Real Estate. And Susan, thanks for joining the show today, saying, me too, I'd love to see the store. So pretty soon. So David is a valued preferred supplier at Royal Lepage Binder. RoyalLepageBinder.com. We do this on a bi-weekly basis with our partners across the brokerages here in Windsor-Essex. So thank you so much for tuning in with us. And again, if you're looking to buy and sell in Windsor-Essex or just need to find a little bit more about the area, check out our website again, RoyalLepageBinder.com. I'm Arms Bumanlag. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great rest of the weekend. And like David said, stay warm, stay safe, and we'll see you back here on Royal Lepage Binder Live.